Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk. We're going to open up the phone lines here in just a couple of minutes. And I want to play a couple of sound bites that have to do with what's going on over in the Middle East. But first, I want to play a sound bite from Nigel Farage. This guy, I believe, I don't have the notes to myself here, but I believe he's a parliamentarian in the European Union. And it's interesting, the phrase that he uses, they're having a debate over some bill. And he had to pay some kind of 3,000 euro fine for calling the leader of the European Union, saying he had a personality like a limp dish rag or something like that. I didn't get it, but he got fined 3,000 euros. But he's bringing it here, and it's interesting, the term he used, I want you to listen carefully for the term that he uses to describe a tax on upper income earners. Job creators, the kind of people that Barack Obama is going after, and listen to the term that Nigel Farage uses to describe that kind of a tax.
You know, I have to accept that you now have the whip hand over the citizens of Europe, and I now think that this euro crisis will go on for a whole miserable decade. In the end, you will have to face the reality that even France and Germany cannot survive together in the same economic and monetary union. And certainly with President Hollande reducing retirement ages, upping minimum wages and bringing in a hate tax for the successful, which will see all the entrepreneurs leave France, I'm afraid that gap will get bigger.
And Nigel Farage is exactly right about the rich. Johnny Depp is gone. He lived in France. They're going to up his tax burden to 75%. It says, see you later. I'm out of here, taking all of his money with him. So what does France have to show for that? They got nothing. I don't know what their tax rate was before, maybe in the upper 30s or something like that. At least they were getting 30 whatever percent of Johnny Depp's income. Now they get bupkis. And this is what these politicians just don't understand, is that people are human beings. They're smart. They're intelligent. They're going to do the best job they can to protect their assets, and they've got liberty to make changes and take their money with them and go somewhere else. But what I loved is what he referred to a tax on the rich as a hate tax. And from now on, that's going to be my terminology unless I forget it. What Barack Obama wants to impose on upper wage income earners in America is a hate tax. It's a hate tax. The tax on the rich, that's a hate tax. It's all predicated on class warfare, resentment, envy, a violation of both the 8th commandment and the 10th commandment. I'm going to take what belongs to you and give it to somebody else, and I'm going to stir up this resentment in the people of America against what you have. I'm going to encourage them to violate the 10th Amendment and covet what does not belong to them. And I'm going to steal that stuff from you in order to give it to them. So, you know, my assessment is that there's no economic model that's predicated on violating 2 of God's 10 commandments that can possibly work or be successful. Now, you know, I got a story here. Median income now. Median income in America is now worse than it was during the Great Recession. Remember the recession, we were told, ended in 2009. You know what median income was when the recession ended? We've been in recovery since then. Since we have been in, quote, recovery, end quote, median income has gone from $52,195 down to $50,054. So median income has dropped 4% during the recovery. Median income is down 7% during the time that Barack Obama has been in office. And meanwhile, here's a story about President Obama taking stimulus money and using it to stimulate the economy of China. I arf you not. The Obama administration, this is Breitbart.com, the Obama administration, piece by Tony Lee, broke its own rules for how stimulus money could be spent. The General Services Administration bought Chinese-made solar panels and installed them on a 3-story federal building that houses the local offices of Dick Durbin, the IRS, the Social Security Administration, and the Drug Enforcement Administration. They purchased and installed the panels, even though it was not legal for them to use stimulus funds to purchase Chinese-made solar panels. It's a $1.8 million project, and the panels themselves cost about $200,000. So against the law, but with Barack Obama, doesn't seem to matter. Now let's shift gears here for the remainder of this section. Number to call is 888-589-8840.